Hi everyone, Grant K here for the Flame Premium Learning channel. In the previous video, we looked at the relationship between surface vertices and UV texture coordinates in the Action 3D Compositor. In this video, we will look at a few more surface options that you can use in conjunction with the Action surfaces. These options can be used for creative purposes, but also for functional compositing tasks. So here is an extended bicubic that I have manipulated in 3D space. In the Surfaces menu, you will see a heading called Extrapolation. These options give you the ability to grow the surface beyond the original wireframe object. You can do this in proportion or individual channels. As the surface extends, the texture is mirrored to cover the surface. The mirror repeat mode is on by default. Creatively, this is great for textures. Technically, it can be used to patch up areas using a clean plate matched to the background. A point to mention here is that the mirror repeat setting on the texture is an inbuilt function on the surface. The only way you can get the tiled effect is to apply a diffuse map to the surface in the Action schematic. In the texture menus for the diffuse map, you can set the behavior using the pull-down menu. And as a reminder, you can also apply different textures to the surface if you choose. I'll delete the diffuse map and return back to the extrapolation options. Underneath the extrapolation sliders, you will find the extrapolation behavior of the surface. Linear extrapolation means that the surface will extrapolate in a straight direction beyond the surface. Smooth extrapolation means that the surface will continue to extrapolate along the curve of the original distorted surface. So this extrapolation mode will bend the shape a lot more in the extrapolated areas. Depending what you set out to achieve, you will determine what you ultimately choose. Now you will notice that when the surface is set to extended bicubic, the crop button is grayed out. To crop an extended bicubic surface instead of expanding it, apply negative values to the X and Y sliders to shrink the surface. So this crop button is only functional when using bilinear and perspective surfaces. When you switch to either of these surfaces, the crop button becomes enabled. This crop function defines the surface to the dimensions of the UV points. For example, I'll link the UVs and vertices together and adjust the shape to a localized area of the frame. Note that the shape of the UV grid is cropping the surface in the 3D composite. If you disable crop, the surface will retain its original size without a crop. Thinking in terms of doing a 4-point track to a screen, you use the corners of the surface to track any tracking markers. You can then decide to crop the surface to the tracking markers or expand the surface beyond the markers to cover more surface area. So one last thing worth knowing is that with all the expanding and contracting of surfaces, the surface's resolution does not change. This is very important for deforming the surfaces in Action. So I'm going to go back to an extended bicubic and have it bending in 3D space. Going into the Surfaces menu, I am going to enable the wireframe mode. Next, I'll start extrapolating the surface outwards. Note that as the surface size increases, the polygon density or size is also increasing. So this operation is not increasing the polygon count of the mesh. This means that there should not be a performance hit when you do these type of operations. If you want smoother results with a higher polygon count, then decrease the resolution value to lower the polygon to pixel ratio. So here is some food for thought. Everything you have seen so far can be combined with the rest of the Action toolset. So surfaces can be warped, atomized, displaced, relit, emit particles, and the list goes on. There are tons of practical uses beyond bending a surface, and we will try to cover these in future videos. Coming up next, we take a look at the bilinear and perspective surfaces. comments, feedback and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Premium Learning channel for future videos.